Over the past few months, I've been falling in and out of my relationship with God. I think this is fairly normal for modern Christians, or at least in my circles. When I meditated over the causes for my staying from the fold, I determined my desire for a wife, which brought me to a place of depravity. But I think that this shines a light on the basic state of man. What I'm saying is that when you look into your mind, you see the places where you don't trust the Lord. These places where we don't trust the Lord causes us to be separate from Him. For me, my desire to have a wife causes me to stray specifically to lust, but on top of that, it brings up many insecurities, like my weight, my mental stability, and worst of all, my identity as a child of God. We see this echoed in scripture with King David and Bathsheba. The story can be found in 2 Samuel 11, but to summarize, while King David was at war with the Ammonites, he saw a woman bathing on the roof and he became mesmerized by her beauty. So he summoned her to his home where he laid with her, getting her pregnant. When he finds out that he got her pregnant, he hatches a plan to make it seem like Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, got her pregnant. But when that fails, he sends Uriah back to the front line and has him killed. At the end of chapter 11, it says that David's action displeases God. Chapter 11 gives us an example of how our ungodly desire causes our thoughts and action to deviate from God's thoughtfully crafted plans for our life. In David's life, his desires for Bathsheba caused him not only to commit adultery, but also fraud and ultimately murder. We can use David as an example of how ungodly desires is like a parasite that ultimately leads to a wicked life. As a child, I was told that while one lie seems small, it can snowball to larger lies. Not only that, but when you tell that small lie, your action indicates to your heart that lying is okay. As we go now that path more and more, sinful actions become justified until our hearts have been so hardened that we are numb to the toxic effects of sin. Jesus also enforces this idea in Matthew 5:27-28. You have heard that it is said, you shall not commit adultery, but I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. In this verse, Jesus shows us how even the smallest bit of lust can transform the posture of our hearts with that person. While we are holy, 1 Peter 15:16, we must realize what qualifies us as holy. In 1 Peter 13:14, it says, therefore, preparing your mind for action, and being sober-minded, set your hope fully on the grace that will be brought to you at the revelation of Jesus Christ. As obedient children, do not be conformed to the passions of your former ignorance. This indicates that we were formerly ignorant of that grace that Jesus has brought us, and in that ignorance we were consumed by our depravity. However, once we enter into that relationship with Christ through honest, wholehearted repentance, as King David did as was read in the book of Psalms, Psalm 51 and Psalm 32, we can return to being in a holy relationship with the Lord. Psalms 51 is the perfect representation of this, where David comes before the Lord and begs for forgiveness, showing an understanding of the wrongs he committed, as well as understanding that God has abundant mercy and perfect love. While this is all good and well for most people, I have a hard time understanding that God has abundant mercy and perfect love, especially during the times where I have fallen back in my sinful way and my mind is corrupted by the pervasive illness. I'll lean on the verse Mark 9:24. Mental illness often prevents me from thinking soberly about myself and my relationship to God. But Mark 9:24 is a verse I hold very close to my heart because it shows me that God has made provisions for me and those like me. Where there is nearly permanent unbelief, but as long as we have a portion that believes, Mark 9:24 shows that we are still saved by grace. I hope that this word has helped someone in their faith. My brothers and sisters, I pray that the Lord is with you and you shall have peace.